Welcome to the show. Coming up today, we're going to talk Galaxy Buds with Geoff Quattromani, and we're talking to TCL Mobile about their latest TCL smartphones. In tech news this week, Facebook has published a blog saying how disappointed they are that iOS 14, Apple's next operating system, will reduce their ability to track users across multiple iPhone applications using the iPhone's unique identification number. Now, essentially what happens is every iPhone device has a unique identification number, and Facebook uses that number to track what people are doing, whether they're on the Facebook network or whether they leave the Facebook network and go and access other apps on the device. Now, Apple has, for many generations of iOS, allowed the user to reduce the ability for that tracking to occur, but because it's been buried in the system settings, no one's really gone and done it before. Well, now that's all about to change because Apple's bringing it to the top, and they are going to, by default, stop that tracking from occurring. And Facebook has said they're not very happy about it. Well, maybe no one cares what Facebook thinks, whether they're upset by that. In fact, they're actually said, Facebook that is, that they may stop that element of their business from being further developed should this go ahead. Well, I'll wait and see what happens on that one. But interesting update on Facebook being upset by that one over the last 24 hours. In other areas of tech news, the Microsoft Simulator, their latest version, is going so well. It is so popular that it's causing control sticks to sell out across the planet. Now, if you want to play simulator games, they're not really games, they are simulators, but if you want to play or engage with a simulator like Microsoft Simulator, the experience is so much better if you've got a control stick. Well, it's causing control sticks to be in short supply. Not that they were actually easy to find before Microsoft Simulator came out. Because of the lockdowns, people have been buying these kinds of peripheral devices in greater numbers, and now Microsoft Simulator, and how good it is as an experience, it's so good. It's so much better than any Microsoft Simulator they've done before. It's causing control sticks to be in short supply. So if you've got one and you don't want it, look, do your fellow simulation nut a favour, sell it secondhand to them. You'll get a good price. In other tech news, Hisense has announced their dual cell TV. This is their answer to not doing OLED TVs this year. You remember OLED versions of Hisense didn't sell very well. Well, they brought out their own TV technology with dual cell. It's theirs version of a TV that will offer very deep blacks and extremely wide color gamuts. They've launched that in the Australian market. It's available in other markets around the world. We will look at that in more detail in the coming weeks as it arrives in stores and as you go out to buy your next television. That's tech news for this week.
Cooking has gotten a whole lot easier with the Philips Airfryer XXL Smart, delivering maximum taste with minimum fat.
The double-layered air fryer does the thinking and the cooking for you with patented rapid air technology, preset cooking functions, a cool wall exterior, and temperature controls, as well as many more integrated features. Look and feel healthier with the air fryer that has fat removal technology. Removing excess fats from your food, its process separates and captures excess fat. To use hot air instead of oil to fry your food, Philips Rapid Air technology creates 7 times faster airflow, so that you can enjoy the delicious results. Let your Philips air fryer take control with its smart sensing technology. Choose a food type using the Smart Chef programs. Press the button to cook, and the smart sensor analyses the food you've placed inside and how much there is. The Philips Airfryer XXL Smart then senses and controls the air temperature inside. and automatically adjusts it, along with the cooking time required to give you the perfect results.
Ready to bring your cooking game to the next level? Feel like a pro in the kitchen with the Philips Airfryer XXL Smart.
I got in my hand two TCL 10 devices. There is the 10L and the 10 Pro. It's part of TCL Mobile's push into that mid-market space, doing very good quality smartphones, but at a price that is much more affordable than what you'd expect. To talk more about that, I thought we'd chat with Sam Skontos from TCL Mobile. How are you today, Sam?
I'm really well. How are you doing?
I'm good. Now, look, I'm going to talk about both these handsets to you while I've got you today. But a lot of people wouldn't have heard about TCL before. I mean, probably heard about the TVs, but not necessarily their smartphones. Where are you positioning the TCL smartphone in the market, and who are you trying to target?
Yeah, well, we've been very, very strong in the Australian market at the entry level with the Alcatel brand. So it's time for us to get into the mid-tier segment of the market where these TCL smartphones are positioned. So what do we mean by the mid-tier? We basically mean over $300 and under $1,000. Unfortunately, it's become a bit like that nowadays, where some people would question where $1,000 is actually mid-tier. But when you have products that are over $2,000, then it really does make that $1,000 mark really mid-tier. We are targeting people that are the smart, savvy technology enthusiasts. The guys that want all the latest and greatest technology, but really are smart enough to say, I'm not spending over $1,000 for it. Yeah. And they're the sort of people we are targeting.
The specs that you've got in these devices, I notice, were in smartphones $1,800 probably 2 years ago, especially. I mean, some of the specs were even in priced devices above that. Is that what you're trying to do? Are you trying to sort of say to the customer, look, if you're prepared to wait a little bit, 18 months, 2 years, that kind of thing, you can potentially get a discount of half to more than half the price of that top of the line AAA smartphone that you're seeing announced today, if you get one of these TCL devices? Is that sort of the message?
It's partly the message. The message is you don't need to spend over $1,000 to get some of the features that you normally expect to have with those premium handsets. At the same time, we look around to see what technology is around and available so we can build a lot of value into our phones. But, things like the display, which we actually manufacture ourselves through a sister company, the display is really top-notch and is as good as what you'll get in the market today. Most of the other things, like potentially the chipset, potentially some of the other elements of the handset, yes, but the display, the audio, the cameras, the video capability, mixed and coupled with our own technology called Next technology and XT technology, which gives you a lot more enhancements of both the video, the quality of the video, and the display and the audio, and the camera. They are top-of-the-line technology that's available today.
Starting with the 10 Pro, we sent Sarah from CyberShack TV out with the 10 Pro and the 10L to a local park, take photos, that kind of thing. And we were looking at the 10 Pro with the quad camera at the back. It's really quite a nice smartphone. And look, using Sarah as the barometer, she actually thought it was a much more expensive phone than $750. Is that sort of the response that you get when people look at this and think, well, they expect to pay more?
Yeah, very much so. It's interesting you say that, because I think a lot of Pro in their hands, they generally are extremely surprised that the product is at $749, and for such a product with the curved display, with the quad cam configuration of the camera, and we got some amazing technology in there, especially around the video stabilization and autofocus. technology that really you'd expect to pay upwards of $1,500. And it does have a premium look and feel. But it's also got some really good features and technology that, if it wouldn't be out of place in a $1,500 price point.
Yeah, it is. It is a really nice. It's one of those things, Sam. When I pick up a phone and it's in my hand, it can very easily feel cheap, right? You know the feeling. You've been in the smartphone business for a very long time. You can actually feel a premium finish with the curved display and the backing and the weight of it, and it definitely feels like something that you could expect to pay a lot more money for. With the 10L, you've got a second smartphone. It's a little bit bigger than the 10 Pro, but you've actually brought this one in at, what is it, $450? Is the plan to say, okay, $450 you can get this, but hey, you can actually spend a little bit more money, get the quad camera, get this. There's a few extra things for spending up a bit, just giving people a choice?
Yeah, it is a matter of choice. At the same time, we feel that what is lacking in that mid-tier smartphone market is a good entry level of the mid-tier. So this is positioned at under $500. We've picked two price points within the mid-tier that we'd like to get under. One of them is $500 and the other one's $800. And really, we are still using the NXT, the next technology for the displays and the cameras on both devices. It's just the display on the 10L is not an AMOLED display. It doesn't have that richness and saturation that you get on an AMOLED display. But nonetheless, it's a Full HD Plus display. It's got a really good camera configuration, and all the technology that we have in the 10 Pro is implemented to 10L at just a slightly lower level. And you still, for value for money, it is phenomenal at $449 what you get for it. So we're just trying to have two price points within the mid-tier segment of the market, one being an entry under $500 at $449, and the other one under $800 at $749.
Just talking about the accessories and, well, not accessories, but enablement of extra connected devices. I did notice that you've got the 3.5mm jack on both devices. Thank you for doing that. It really does help when you want to hand your phone to the kids or something like that, and you can just plug in the headphones and give it to them, and then all of a sudden they're able to watch that cartoon or whatever it was that they wanted to watch. But also I noticed with the Bluetooth on there, you got the ability to connect up to 4 sets of Bluetooth headphones, I believe, at the one time. What's the reason for doing that?
So yeah, I mean, we are utilising Bluetooth 5.0, and as you would know, with Bluetooth 5.0, you can actually connect two devices, Bluetooth devices at the same time. We've enhanced that, and we decided that we need more than 2 devices. We need 4 devices. So you can connect on both the TCL handsets, smartphones, up to 4 devices via Bluetooth. Now, that can be headphones, Bluetooth headphones, could be Bluetooth speakers. And we believe that in an environment of sharing, and we're all sharing everything from photos, videos, and music files, etc. We feel that the togetherness of having, up to a whole family sharing content is the way to go. So that's why we've added up to 4 devices. So
they're available now, I believe, and you're going through retailers like JB Hi-Fi and Officeworks and places like that, so you've chosen mass market locations for people to choose them. Is it available now or coming soon?
It's available now. People can buy them online right now, and there'll be limited stock in store, but you can buy it online, no problem.
Okay. All right, brilliant. TCL, the mid-market smartphone, that is definitely making a big splash. 2 models, the 10L at $449, and then they've also got the TCL 10 Pro at $749. Worth a look. Have a look at these ones. There's some good features in them, and I'll tell you what, a lot of bang for buck. Sam Skontos from TCL Mobile, thank you for your time today. Good to have a chat once again about what you're doing in the smartphone business.
Thanks, Charlie. It's always a pleasure, mate.
Once upon a time, choosing your TV could stop at picture quality and size, but today there's a much longer list of features for you to consider.
When looking for a new TV or an upgrade for any living space, you are now also considering the setup process, ease of use, and the benefits and quirks that could make your life with your new TV that much easier. Watching the content on the TV as it sits on the showroom floor may not be enough to ensure it's the right fit for your lifestyle. For those looking for a high-quality picture for their TV, Samsung Series 8 Q80R QLED 4K TV is a fantastic option. It delivers amazing picture quality through enhanced contrast, great details, incredibly deep blacks, and even an anti-reflective screen for ideal viewing in a bright room. But it also offers a set of features that make the full TV experience a standout. In short, you are set to experience an incredible entertainment solution.
Right now, let's have a chat about the Galaxy Buds, because at the end of the day, buds from all different brands in different sizes and designs, they are the tech item of especially the last 2 to 3 years. I mean, my 12-year-old's gone and gotten some Bluetooth earbuds, and there's a bunch of challenges with them. One of them is making them fit in the ear area as well as you possibly can. I thought we'd have a chat with Geoff Quattromani today, tech expert, friend of the show, about the new Galaxy Buds and whether they measure up. How are you, Geoff?
Really well, Charlie. Thanks for having me.
Now, good to have a chat. Galaxy Buds, yes, no, should I purchase another option out there? Would that be? What should I look at? What are your thoughts overarching on the Galaxy Buds?
Look, first of all, I think the Buds Live, and I'll hold them up to camera if you haven't seen them before, they are quite beautiful. They're extremely shiny, but they look like beans. If we're being very honest, they look like beans. And when you do put them in the ear, they don't actually protrude into the ear canal like AirPods do and other brands. They just rest inside the ear, but they rest quite well in that I can go to the gym, I can go for a run, and they don't fall out very easily as well. But what's most impressive is, given the size of these things, they actually sound very good as well. So it's an interesting balance of nice design, but good audio performance too.
And that's the thing, isn't it, right? I mean, I remember the Bose had their earbuds. The sound was sensational, but they just looked ridiculous. But then again, when Apple came out with the AirPods, they looked ridiculous as well until everyone started wearing them. I mean, the difference between ridiculous and looking totally cool is really just up to the beholder, right?
Yeah, it really is. And it's true that I think Apple really did push everybody over the line when it came to, wearing wireless earbuds, because, I usually use the Apple AirPods Pro and they are a stunning pair of headphones. The noise cancelling is really where we're starting to see things shift now. And that's where the competitive ground is, that, everyone can buy a pair of Bluetooth earbuds wherever they like for not a lot of money. But when you look at the AirPods Pro at $399 with noise cancelling, and then Samsung doing a similar pair for $319, we start to compare them on noise cancelling as well. And I have to be honest, the Samsung Buds Live, their noise cancellation is not as good as the AirPods Pro. But the main reason being, as I mentioned before, is that they don't protrude into that ear canal, so they don't have that tight seal that the AirPods Pro can achieve. So different styles do produce different levels of noise cancelling, but it is amazing that we're even talking about noise cancelling when it comes to such small little earbuds.
One of the things that Samsung's always talked about is trying to get customers as young as they can to engage with their products. And with earbuds, my 12-year-old, regular set of earbuds won't fit into her ears. She's 12, right? So for kids even younger than that, finding a set of buds to actually get into their ear is really, really challenging. I know because we tested about 18 different designs of earbuds for Gme before we picked one, based on the fact that it was more likely to fit into an 8-year-old's ear canal than any of the other designs that were out there. And even still, many of them didn't fit into the youngest customers out there. I guess my point is having the product designed for the widest group in the community is actually really important.
Yeah, and it's actually also really difficult to do. And, for me, putting these in, I'm probably fortunate enough that they do fit in well. There is also a very small rubberized clip that you can put on to give it a tighter fit if you are finding them a bit loose. And even with the AirPods, they now come with 3 different silicone gels that you can have for your ear size. So I think everyone's trying to find that sweet spot and to make it perfectly fit well, because the reality is, especially with the noise cancelling models, if they're not fitting properly, they're not going to work properly either. So they won't actually produce that same level of noise cancellation that they expect if it's not fit well. So it is a challenge, and that's why we always go back to over-ear headphones, because you can't really go wrong when it comes to those, because they cover the entire ear. So it's an interesting balance to have over design and functionality in that way.
Do all earbuds work with all smartphones?
It's the best question to ask, because when I was testing these, the AirPods work really well with my iPhone. Try connecting them to a Samsung device. They'll work if you want to listen to music, but most of the functionality that you know about AirPods disappears. So they don't really travel well across operating systems. The Samsung ones, however, that I've been testing, work obviously well on any Android device. They have a companion app, but there's also a companion app for iOS. So my iPhone with the Galaxy Buds Live, I can use them to summon Siri. I can use them to skip songs, pause tracks, do whatever I like. I'm not losing anything in the experience. And with the companion app that Samsung has for iOS, you can have all the same features around equalizer, noise cancellation, and things like that. So I really think what Samsung is doing here is this is your carrot into the gateway to potentially buying a Samsung phone next. Because if you have an iPhone and then you buy these headphones and the experience is good, maybe later on you'll actually consider also getting a Samsung smartphone. So I think that's really why it's so smart to work across both operating systems.
Versus buying iPhone and then AirPods and then thinking, well, I've got these very expensive AirPods. I probably won't change to an alternate smartphone next upgrade because the AirPods are still working. I want them to work really well, so I'll get another iPhone.
Absolutely. And it's the same thing with the Apple Watch as well. Good luck trying to get that to work on an Android device. But if you have got a Samsung watch, you can use that with an iPhone too. So, I think all brands need to ensure they're compatible with iOS because they have the opportunity to try and cross-sell later on and bring them across. But if you're too invested in the Apple camp, as a lot of people are, it can be very hard and expensive to jump out.
Yeah, it just works. Or it does just work over at
if you
Apple.
Stay there.
Depending who you ask. New Galaxy Buds available now. They did that pre-order with the Galaxy Note. That has finished because the Galaxy Note is available. You can purchase them. $319, I think you said, Mr. Quattromani?
$319 available now. And I've got to say, they come in 3 colors. Isn't that nice? They actually have a variety with black, white, and bronze, whereas the AirPods, just white.
Brilliant. All right. Good to talk to you this week. We'll have a chat to you again next week. Geoff Quattromani, tech expert. Thanks again for your time.
Thanks, Charlie.
This is Genie, the touchscreen device delivering your favorite streaming entertainment. It's smart, safe, and fits in your pocket. You'll notice that Genie has no cameras, as this is an entertainment device. Every Genie has Bluetooth and Wi-Fi connectivity, a 5-inch plastic touchscreen, FM radio receiver, and a 2,200 mAh battery. We've also included basic parental controls allowing you to pin lock the apps and settings on every Genie. Don't know the pin? Then you can't open the app. There are 3 versions of Genie: Genie, Genie Plus, and Genie Connect. Genie is perfect for listening to apps like Spotify and Apple Music with limited distractions. Genie Plus has the same hardware but is a Google-registered device. So we've pre-installed some Google services like YouTube, Google Maps, and Chrome, and you can download and install your favorite apps via the Google Play Store. Genie Connect is just like the Genie Plus, but with 4G connectivity. Your Genie Connect will stream your favorite entertainment via Wi-Fi and 4G, make and receive calls, and also text. With Genie Connect, we've included the ability to personalize the incoming and outgoing call and SMS experience using our preloaded call block. Block or approve incoming calls and SMS traffic as you decide. Find your Genie, a safer, smart device.
In Q&A this week, Kim has sent a note through asking about her mum's 4-level home and how they can get better Wi-Fi across all levels. That is a big house, 4 levels. If you've got a big house and you want to get Wi-Fi everywhere, there's 2 things you need to think about. One is the coverage of the Wi-Fi. That's the first thing. Then the next thing you got to think about is the speed of the Wi-Fi, because that's a whole different thing. Just because you've got wide Wi-Fi coverage doesn't mean the actual speed of the coverage is going to be hugely fast. That's all going to depend on the type of equipment that you spend. If you want wide coverage, that's one part of the cost. If you want fast Wi-Fi across that coverage, you got to spend even more money. I would suggest to Kim that if it's just her mum and her dad in the one house, so 2 people across this very big house that they've got, something like the TP-Link Deco 5 1300 is probably ample. You get one of those for $300. There's 3 whole home transmitters in that package, and you could put one on the top, bottom, second floor as well. If you then want coverage into the bottom floor, you can buy that 4th transmitter, and that will then mean that you got Wi-Fi everywhere, and it's fast enough for browsing, streaming, doing most of the stuff you want to do for 2 people at once. If you want to go to something faster than that, you've got a 5-person family, a couple of teenagers, there is a 2200 version of that Deco 5, and that is, it's either 22 or 23. That's the version that I would get. It's going to cost you more than $300, but the extra investment is going to be well worth it. That's Q&A for this week. Thanks for tuning into the show today. Comments and questions below, or send them through on the email as well if you've got any of those. We'll be back again next week. Big thanks to Geoff Quattromani and Sam Skontos for guests on the program today. Another big show coming next week. We've already started planning it out, and we've got some cool guests to speak to. Then one particular guest, big smartphone player. They'll be on the show next week. Don't want to tease you too much, but we'll see you next week.